I saw the Trubisky.
You know what's going, bro. You know what's going. I
actually feel bad for Mitch.
I was all the way unplugged, bro. Talk to me. What happened, though? What happened?
Let me try to pull up the article.
Bro, what?
But he basically said it in that sentence there. When Pickett was drafted, I think the Steelers texted Mitch, and Mitch having no clue that they were going to draft quarterback either. They texted Mitch and said, "Hey, can you send a little congratulation message to Pickett on getting drafted to the team?"
Wow.
Yeah, that's a terrible look. Like, I don't like that because you know I'm a Pickett guy, but I don't like him being coddled like that. I don't.
That is.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, hey, y'all don't rotate, so you know what time it is. Oh man, hey, Deke, we just drafted the first round. Send him a text. Just make him feel a little better about himself. All right, we know what time this is.
Let me try to find this.
Oh man.
Yeah, because this is one of the more underrated stories that popped up over the last week.
This one, yeah, I missed this one, bro.
Yeah, because you had Pat P saying some stuff. Yeah. Obviously, there's Fields talk, Pickett talk, Cousins, Wilson talk. But yeah, this one kind of flew under the radar.
This definitely was just chilling, yeah.
Man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it, but that is true.
It's all
that
good.
is true. I read the Dulac article where he said that.
What so they almost benched 8. Okay, no surprise with that, but they decided to fire Matt Canada. Fair enough. Okay. I mean, I get the whole them telling Mitch to text him. I get it. And I definitely could understand the weird vibe that probably sent for Mitch and why they wanted Mitch specifically to send that message to Kenny Man as well. That's the business side of it. That's the business side. And you just feel here like, I hate the business side of football at times, bro.
Here it is. Ready? Okay. Mitch obviously gets signed to the Steelers early in the 2022 free agency. 6 weeks later, the Steelers took the first quarterback off the board in the draft, Kenny Pickett. Trubisky realized he'd be legitimately competing for the starting spot. In the shadow of a rookie who provided hope to bridge the gap of success between Ben Roethlisberger and success. It doesn't appear Trubisky was looped into that plan, as a recent report takes us back to that very night. All right, Jerry Dulac writes, Trubisky never stood a chance with the Steelers. 6 weeks after he signed to the 2-year, $14.3 million contract, the Steelers took Pickett and with their number 1 pick in the draft. That night, Trubisky was a little surprised by a text message that, among other things, asked him to text and congratulate the newest Steelers quarterback. No wonder he played as though he was always looking over his shoulder after that. Yeah, it's terrible. I feel bad for Mitch there. Yeah. I don't like that.
They said the fix was in?
I don't like that. No, I don't.
The fix was in, bro.
I don't like that. I don't. I obviously, at the time, wanted Kenny to start 2022 off the bat, week 1, and I was calling for him early in the season too. After Mitch, in my opinion, wasn't giving us enough. But I don't like how things started here with Mitch and us drafting Kenny and that whole dynamic. I don't like that. I don't. Doesn't change my opinion on wanting Kenny to be the starter for that season or wanting Mitch bench, but it's why are we doing that? Why are we doing that?
Because they're overthinking it.
Yeah,
overthinking it. Because
why can't players just process things naturally and
because this is a $1 billion
have their own
business,
way of handling things?
This is a business, and you cannot afford for your investment to be wrong. So, in terms of why they tell Mitch the first rounder why they tell Mitch the free agent we just signed, you specifically need to text Kenny, is because I can't have my first round quarterback, the most important player on my team, feeling uncomfortable. I need him to feel like he's welcomed here. I need him to feel like you're going to be his ally, not his competition.
They want to make sure of that because knowing Mitch, he probably naturally would have done that.
Yeah, but Mitch has also got a dog in him, and he's going to want to say, "Yo, I'm better than you."
Yeah, right, and that should be the case. But
you can't.
You still don't. You can still handle yourselves like professionals.
But that is dangerous when you're talking about rookie quarterbacks because you don't know how they're going to respond to that. And it's not like other positions where I can be a dog and be at you, but you can still be on this field with me and we can eat together. Quarterback, once I beat you out, I'm the guy. You're just sitting there, you holding the clipboard, and everybody's talking about, are you good or not? The longer you sit and wait, does he not know the playbook? What's going on with him? So I just think in that vein for the organization, they said, yo, if we're going to pick him in the first round, we got to make sure that this investment is going to do and progress the way that we want him to progress. And we said they're going to give him every opportunity, and we've been seeing it. We said that even before they fired Matt Canada, we said, yeah, they will fire a coordinator before they get rid of the quarterback that's the first rounder within 2 years. And we saw it. We thought they was going to get rid of Coach T for an extent because, once again, this is the first round investment within 2 years. They're going to give it every opportunity. So in that vein for Mitch, I'm sure he was surprised, and I'm sure he was pissed off to an extent. And I'm sure no matter what he did at practice or even in games, he always felt as if he was going to be looking over his shoulder because that's the reality of it when they draft that first rounder in your position. You play long enough, it happens, and that's the weird relationship that you got to build where you're big brother, competition, and at the same time you pissed off because you know this ain't even a legitimate competition. It's just I'm holding this spot until they decide they're ready to pull the trigger. Don't matter what I do. Even if it's not even bad, they're going to make it seem a lot worse. Even if it's really good, they're going to minimize that. And even if what he does is just all right, they're going to gas it all the way
I don't know
up.
if I agree with that completely.
And
I think if he would have balled out.
Trust me, that's fine. I'm just speaking from experience. That's fine. I know what this is, man. That's it, bro.
Yeah, maybe you're talking more within the organization and how they handle it. Because I think as fans, if Mitch balled out early in that season, we're sitting at 3-1, and he's got a couple games with like 250 yards, 2 touchdowns. We're just riding with Mitch.
But we're talking about more so. You're saying regardless of this part of it, I just wanted this result. The same thing that we're talking about for Kenny in terms of putting them in the best environment, not just physically but mentally. Because that is the toughest position. Mitch is letting you know right now, when they drafted him, that whole, hey, Mitch, we're going to make sure that you are in the best space you need to be in to be our guy, was gone. That's out the window now. Everything that you're doing going forward is to make sure that he is okay. It's to make sure that he is going to be ready. Because at some point in time, he is going to be the guy out here. Regardless of what you do, regardless of what you say, he is going to be out here at some point in time. It's just a matter of when we ready to pull that trigger. Now, you could expedite it if you come out here and play slow, regardless of what is going on, or you could delay it a little bit, but it's going to happen. And that's a tough scenario to be in, man. That's all. And we talked about it, right? Your first 2 games, you come out, you playing slow. Why? It's the first 2 games. You got the crowd booing you on top of that. You know what the situation is with your quarterback. That's a tough place to be in, bro. You tight. How do you play loose? That's difficult, man. But that's the part where we say, in terms of, just football, it's sometimes more than just, is a guy good or not? Sometimes it is the behind the scenes stuff that goes into it. But you still got to go out there and execute. And that's the part where he didn't. And that's why when you don't execute and they draft the first rounder, they move on as quickly as they did. And now you get the scenario that he was in. That's just the NFL. But that's why we say it's a business. It's not always about who's the better player. Oh, let's really compete. Let's make it fair. And that's what we keep joking about the Mason part. It's like, do you really think it's going to be a legitimate competition if he come back? This is another person now, and this kind of lets you know an indicator that
I'd like to think
it
so.
really don't seem like it's going to be a legitimate competition. But that's the part, where for Mason, he got to figure out if he trusts him or not.
Yeah, as you've brought up, depends on the money we give him. And then you just see, you just see how it plays out, really.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't like how this started for Mitch. If this story is true, I don't like that. I really don't. Don't try to force that.
But it's a business, and like I said, man, when it's a business, bro, I've been in places where your first rounder is struggling mightily, and he doesn't even feel engaged or have a passion to actually want to be professional. And coaches are begging and pleading this dude, almost in tears, to get him to want to do something well. And because he's the first rounder, and because within that first 2 years, bro, you're watching this coach being like, bro, why do I have to even deal with this player? But upstairs is telling that dude, yo, he's playing. I don't care what you say. If you need these other guys, you make sure they on special teams so you could have them with you on game day. But this cat right here, he is dressing and he is playing, bro. And you be sitting here like, bro, what are we doing? If this is college, man, this dude is a joke. He's not even out here, bro. High school, you don't even think about this. But at the NFL level, because that's the first rounder, it doesn't matter that you better than him or more productive than him. He is going to be out there. He is going to get an opportunity, man. And that's just, like I said, the business part of it, bro. And that's the part that, like I said, when you coming back to in terms of Mason, right? Trusting that they're going to actually give you a legitimate chance at this. That's the stuff that you also battling because you've seen it. He's seen it now at multiple spots. It's not just a quarter. He's seen multiple first rounders here since Mason has been here. Think about the first rounders that have come here and the varying levels of success they've had. But the amount of opportunities that they've had. It Mason sitting here this whole time like, bro, I got one opportunity and never again. Now I get this opportunity and now y'all acting funny. Or you just talking a little funny. What's a little slow? That's the stuff where it's the business part of it, man. It just sucked that.
Yeah, because I think that's how this story holds weight now, or how it does. Because if we look at how the Mitch Kenny saga played out over the last 2 years, I think it makes sense when we look back. Because I didn't think Mitch was giving us enough. Kenny comes in, he had a little bit of a slow start. Had some rookie mistakes early on, but how we ended 2022, you felt like, Kenny is the QB1. Like, I'm happy we put him in over Mitch. And then coming into this season, even though Kenny was having the struggles, we were at 7-4 at one point before he got hurt. Mitch comes in, plays.
He played bad.
Yeah, pretty bad for those 3 games. Yeah. Pretty bad. But now it's this Mason dynamic that you're looking at, and you're hearing the story like this and wondering, okay, are they going to go that far with Pickett for 2024? Because in terms of like making sure he has that upper hand going into the offseason. Or if we do re-sign Mason, is it just going to be a clean competition? There's not going to be any biasness there.
Because I think both thought process can be true because to an extent, we've already seen that we both would agree. Mason, what he did in that 4-game sample consecutively, we hadn't had that since Ben had been playing here. Yeah. But even with that being the case, it still isn't a foregone conclusion that you sign back, we want you to be the guy. And that's the part where, for Mason, I'm sure that makes him very uneasy. Because to an extent, we both at some point have said, if Mason is playing like that 4-game sample size over 17 games, that's a top 10 quarterback.
Absolutely.
That's high-end quarterback play. But you're telling me showing you that for what a quarter of a season would be, right? We say every 4 games, a quarter of a season. So me showing you that over a quarter of a season still hasn't convinced you. It still makes you feel like I still need to see this some more. And you're about to bet your career on that decision, man. That's the part where for Mason, I'm sure he's going through a lot of that right now, man.
Yeah, you got to see what the market is.
Yeah, because you're like, bro, I balled, I played, I did what I was supposed to do. But yet you still are kind of on the fence about if that was enough to really unseat this dude or not.
Yeah, and from the Steelers' standpoint, like you're looking at the season as a whole.
Yeah.
And you're thinking about Kenny being your first-round pick and him being younger than Mason and knowing that Canada was there for most of Kenny's season. And, you got to look at all that like and project, all right, what does Kenny look like under Arthur Smith? How bad do we need to bring Mason back? Or if the number's too much, can we let him walk?
Yeah.
There's all that stuff going on right now. It's going to be interesting.
And it's still, even with this business part of it, and even though certain things are slanted towards Kenny, we're not going to discredit Kenny and act like he still hasn't done certain things to justify him being out there. Because I do feel like at times when, not us in this convo, but
obviously
it's
not.
very
obviously
easy.
Not me, right?
Yeah, it's easy for, while we're talking about Mitch, now it kind of seems as if like, oh, well, it was really just handed to him and he hasn't done anything to deserve it.
I think as the 2 years played out, we can say Kenny was the better option for the Steelers over Mitch.
Now the question, done certain things.
That's what I was saying. Now the question is Kenny versus Mason. Who's the better option?
Absolutely. But that's the part where it's like both things can be true. Has Kenny done certain things to justify the decision? Yes. But can Mason feel a lot of anxiety or a lot of uncertainty about this decision because of how they handled it when Mitch was in a very similar position? Yeah.
Especially when you're seeing, again,
Absolutely,
a report come out like this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was like I said, I think both things could be true with that, man.